Hey there. So today we're doing a little bit of a hot video. If you've noticed, I'm rocking the Casey Neistat angle here to add a little bit of dynamic to these videos, just because it's what I can do. Today is going to be a little bit of an unscripted. All right, I have some talking points. As you can see, I have some talking points right here, and I'm replicating the same style of a popular YouTube show known as Pen Point from 2010 and something, or whatever it was. I'm replicating that style here because, I think it's a good aesthetic for this particular video. And, he's not doing them anymore. So guess what? Might as well do it, right? Might as well copy the same aesthetic. But here's the problem. It's going to be a pain in the ass to edit because I got to go back and forth between the cameras. So your boy's going to have a little bit of time editing this. So today's episode is going to be on why you aren't special. That's right, you the magician. Magicians think they're special. I'm here to tell you that you're not. And it's for a very particular reason. It's not necessarily the same as the last one. And as a matter of fact, just speaking of the last videos that I've made, some people tend to complain about the mask that I'm wearing, about hey, you're hiding your anonymity here. So that means that you really can't say anything because you're anonymous. Your words are meaningless. You need to show who you are. You need to say who you are. And to that I say, you know what? It's an aesthetic. All right. I'm sorry you're stuck in 1970, but the mask is an aesthetic. It's a thing. It's the new trend. It's something that I'm trying to do, of which you don't understand because you're still wearing your waistcoat, your dovetailed waistcoat. You're still wearing your Dun & Co. Your Dun & Co. wool dovetailed waistcoat, the gigs. So you really don't have any idea as to what aesthetic actually is. All right. So let me be, and I'll let you be. Now, here's the thing. There's a whole drama going on right now with Illusionist, with Harrison Greenbaum, and with Azzy Wind. And this is somewhat the reason why I'm doing a video on this particular topic, because it seems to me that it's the general point of what's taking place in that particular argument that's kind of bothersome. It's the general point. It's not what's actually taking place, but it's the underlying umbrella and the overlying umbrella. See, this is how you know that's not scripted, because I'm saying underline when really I should have said overline, because an umbrella goes over your head. But I said underlying, like some sort of Kate Beckinsale movie. What I mean is that magicians here are thinking that they're special. I'm not going to address the beef because that's ongoing. That's something that is ongoing between them. I already addressed it in some live streams. As a matter of fact, if you guys aren't watching my live streams, you guys should be watching my live streams every Wednesday at around 8 o'clock and Eastern time. Your boy's doing live streams, and your boy is talking magic. It's talking some magic. I addressed that issue. It's an ongoing situation, which is why I don't necessarily want to address it. I'm addressing the overlying issue here. And the first topic is independent creation. Independent creation is something that magicians tend to think does not exist. The idea that two people in this planet of over 8 billion people are unable to come up with the same idea at either the same time or different times. Apparently, this concept doesn't seem to exist to magicians because it seems to be a very, very old system of first to publish is first dibs. And I get that. I get the first to publish. All right. If you're the first to come up with a song and you're the first one to publish it, fine. That's your song. That's cool. But to have the thought and the mindset that two people or three or four can't come up with a similar idea independent of each other is ridiculous. And that's what seems to happen in the magic community more than anything. Somebody will come up with an idea. Somebody else would come out with an idea. The first person decides to publish it, or the second person could publish it, and then there's a quarrel between both people. Not a quarrel from the popular Walking Dead meme, but a quarrel ensues between both magicians, because then one person says, hey, this is my idea, and then another person says, oh yeah, but I had the same idea as well. And then the first person goes on Facebook or Twitter and decides to make a long post ranting on how other people are stealing and killing magic, which is not the case. That's not the case. It's possible that two people have come up with the same idea. Now, here's the problem with that. right? The first person publishes it in a manuscript in 1976 that was Xeroxed and given to exactly 8 people. Let's just make that assumption as an example here. So we have this person who's published a piece in a manuscript, right? They're the first to publish it. So they technically have the rights to the trick. So then what ends up happening? In 2010, you end up coming up with a trick that you teach on your channel, or maybe you end up coming up with a trick that you market. This guy comes up and says, hey, I came up with this trick in 1976. I published it in a manuscript that I gave to 8 people that I Xeroxed. All right. What are you doing teaching my trick? Well, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of your manuscript that you gave to 8 people at that convention in the middle of Arizona. What are you doing? I'm sorry. Was I supposed to know that you came up with this trick and you put it in literally the side of a Xerox manuscript? Xerox, we don't even Xerox things anymore. Okay. Xerox is a dead thing. You fucking Dun & Co. waistcoat. But the thing is that it's impossible. It's impossible to be aware of 100% of the things that take place in the magic community. And it seems to me like a lot of magicians almost get insulted when you're unaware of their work. A lot of magicians tend to think, oh, hey, what, you're not aware of my work? Huh? You don't know that I came up with this? You don't know that I've spent time and effort to come up with this particular thing? The same time and effort, by the way, that independent people have made and to come up with the same or similar idea, mind you. But case in point, I've always been one to push the idea of crediting. From the beginning of the channel, I've pushed the notion that we're standing on the shoulders of giants and that absolutely everything that we do is based on work that existed before us. And it's important to credit because history is one of the most important aspects of any performance art. And just like in magic, history is one of the most important aspects. And yeah, I'll meme and I'll troll and I'll say that Guy Vernon is irrelevant and that he's a drunk and that he essentially neglected his family for the progression of magic, which we needed as an art form because we needed somebody like that to be an awful parent, to be a horrendous dad, to progress magic forward. But we need to credit as realistically as we can. We can't scrape every single source before publishing a trick. We can't go into the history of magic and research for 17 years before deciding to publish something. It's not realistic. We're living in 2019, the age of information. Right now, you are essentially watching this video, probably while another video is playing on your computer at the same time that you're looking at your second phone and scrolling through Twitter posts or potentially Facebook, depending on the fact if you're a boomer or not. We are in the age of information where information is like this. So you think that we could wait and we could research for 10 years to every single magic source before we decide to publish something? No, that's not realistic. But that's exactly what it seems some magicians expect people to do before they publish something. Crediting should be realistic. Again, I'm a proponent of crediting. I've always been this. I respect magic. I've been doing this for 20 years. Okay, before some people on Facebook decide to say, hey, who's this guy that doesn't know his stuff? I know my chops. All right, I got my chops. 20 years being a virgin. All right, trying to progress the art forward, at least to me. So here, I'm the one saying you should credit. All right. I'm the one being devil's advocate here. Don't think that I'm saying crediting is useless and that we shouldn't credit. However, some standards of crediting are just ridiculous. Come on. You got to chill with that. The Facebook, Twitter thing needs to stop. Here's the thing that some people don't seem to understand. Snail mail is no longer a viable method of communication. Now we have a thing called direct messaging. All right. We have a thing called direct messaging where I could send you a message from essentially any platform, Twitter, Facebook. I could email you. Emails are readily available. You could find most people's emails by doing a simple Google search because we don't need to go to the library anymore to find information about someone. So I could send you a direct message. If I have a concern with you, if I have an issue with you, I could send you a message and we could communicate this point back and forth. That's the beauty of 2019. I don't have to send you a snail mail, all right, you boomer. So my point in saying that is, why are you posting stuff publicly and not addressing it with the actual individual before anything. Maybe you should ask the individual before, hey, you realize that this is the thing, right? This is a thing that's happened before, or there's a thing that I've put up in a manuscript in 1976 to 8 people, and then maybe work it out with the person. Maybe talk back and forth. Maybe come up with new ideas. Progress it forward, as opposed to making a long tirade on Facebook. It makes no sense whatsoever. But actually it does make sense, because then you see the actual point. The actual point is to progress you. It's not to progress the art forward. It's to make sure that everyone remembers you, which is why these magicians tend to get insulted when you're unfamiliar with their work. And it happens time and time again. It's not about progressing magic forward. It's about progressing you forward. That's the problem. We're here for a limited amount of time. We're not here, all right, forever. What's going to be here forever, though? Magic. The point is to progress magic as best we can, to the extent that we can. But it seems to be like all you want to do is just move yourself forward. Selfishly. So, my point here, try to work it out with the person. Please, before anything, try to work it out with the individual. Don't just jump on a Facebook tirade to your, 1,007 followers and then think, oh, hey, look at this. I've done something good for the community by calling this individual out. How about you talk to him like a person? That's a problem with magicians, is that they don't become people before they become magicians. They are magicians before they become people. And that's an issue, because guess what? Then you don't know social interaction. Then your only interaction that you happen to know with people is based on card tricks. Get out of your house. Interact with people. Don't take a thumb tip in your right pocket. Don't take your card to wallet in your back pocket. Don't be rigged up with your iRadio, your mobile radio. Okay, hit the like button if you guys remember that trick, by the way, instant radio. You have to pretty much strap the equivalent of, I can't say the word, but you know what I mean. You have to strap that on you, especially if you wear a mask like this. You definitely can't say that word. But you have to strap a whole situation around you just to be able to make it seem like you have a radio, like anything's a radio. It's a very interesting trick, but very, very deliberately set up. Be a person before you become a magician, and you're going to see that a lot of your issues are going to be solved, because then you have the ability to communicate with people. Then, hey, maybe I'll just hit this guy up in the DMs. Maybe his intentions weren't unpure. Maybe his intentions were just to progress the art forward, or to try to progress the art forward. Again, this has only a little bit of bearing to this whole illusionist drama. I'm not taking any particular sides. Lord knows that illusionist has had a bunch of oopsies, and I'm not a huge fan of a lot of their work. But you know what? I'm also not a fan of magic in general. I fucking hate magic. I hate magicians. They're the worst. And I'm a magician, so I look in the mirror every day and I say, hey, why are you still here? But it's the underlying issue in that sort of drama that I'm trying to address here. But that's it, man. That's it. That's pretty much what I want to rant on. Is that pretty much it? Yeah. So all I have here is messaging is a thing. Boomers, snail mail. Boomers and snail mail. You could direct message. You could address your concerns with an individual in a very efficient and fast fashion. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for, subscribing and stuff, or whatever people do. What else? I didn't even have time to show the Pigcake Magic Academy. I didn't have time to do that, but you already know about it. You already know about the Magic Academy. You already know about the 2 videos every single week. You already know about the over 200 videos already there. The moment you get it, you could access all those videos. You already know that. You guys already know that, so I don't need to talk about that. But you know what? That's it. I'm going to go figure out different ways to maximize switching cameras back and forth in Adobe Premiere. See, I could walk out of frame for this camera, but this camera I can't. It kind of tracks your face too.